Why can I see you and no one else can?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I don't even know who I'm talking to. You're a killer. A cold-blooded killer.
As opposed to a peace-loving killer.
I know what I saw.
You think you know.
Why am I drawing this?
So I was right, you're not a mundane.
Excuse me? What's a mundane?
Someone from the human world.
Well, if I'm not a human, then what am I?
And that was a clip from The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones, joined by its star, Lily Collins. Lily, hello, good afternoon.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing very well. That was a little bit English and then a little bit American.
Oh, God, that is me in a nutshell. A little bit English and a little bit American.
So you can do either.
Yeah, I just did a film actually in Dublin where I played British. So it was lovely to be back in my natural accent because I haven't had one since I was 5.
So you can, all right, so your natural accent would,
Yeah, my natural accent when I was little was British.
Yes.
And then when I moved to the States, everyone made fun of me. And I just adapted kind of an American one, and now this is what comes out of my mouth.
So now it's just a hodgepodge of everything.
Now it's just a bit of a hot mess.
Okay, so let's talk about The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones. So based on the unbelievably popular series Youth Adults YA books, I guess, by Cassandra Clare. For those of our audience who are not familiar with the intimacies here, just take us into the world of The Mortal Instruments, Lily.
Well, it starts out about a young girl named Clary Frey, who I play, and she thinks of herself as a seemingly normal teenage girl from Brooklyn. And she basically goes to a club one night with her best friend Simon, and she is the only one to witness somebody killing somebody else, and nobody else can see it, and she doesn't understand why. And it turns out that Jace, who is the one killing a demon, she can see them because she's one of what he is a shadow hunter. It's a half human, half angel. And her mother gets kidnapped by the ultimate bad shadow hunter, and he uses Clary as leverage to get her mom back. And it's this kind of journey of self-discovery, and she meets all these shadow hunters along the way, and it's very dark and edgy and funny. So it's kind of got everything. It's romance, funny, drama, action.
After 20 minutes of your film, I decided that I wanted to be a shadow hunter.
Did you?
Well, I did, because apart from anything else, you wear great gear.
We do. We wear a lot of leather.
So
You've
why
got to
is
be very agile in the leather.
Yeah, so just to explain, so the standard outfit, if you're a shadow hunter, obviously you're sort of protecting the world from demons. Just to explain, because the mythologies, there's lots and lots of stuff going on. So shadow hunters are like us. Can we see them? Are the rest of us mundanes? Just explain a little bit about this world.
Right. The rest of us, humans, are mundanes, and they cannot see the shadow world unless shadow hunters make themselves visible by drawing a rune on themselves. Only shadow hunters can see other shadow hunters all the time, though, and they exist in a world that is actually simultaneously going on around us in our reality. So it's kind of these two worlds married together. Shadow hunters are normally seen in leather because it's a very durable material that can last hundreds of years, and it's very easy to move in, actually. You'd think it wouldn't be, but the leather that we were wearing was very durable and very kind of stretchy, if you will. And there's kind of like chains and buckles to hold all the weapons in, and it does sound quite edgy. It is quite club underworldy.
Yes, and the stunt, you have to do a lot of, kick-ass fighting and a lot of stunts. I imagine does that make it more difficult if you're in the gear that you've just described?
Well, it definitely makes it more difficult for my character because my character is in a very short and tight dress for a majority of the movie and thigh-high 6-inch leather boots, which I did not practice my stunts in until the day before, which is actually fine because Clary was very awkward in the outfit because she's not used to that kind of gear at all, which meant that as Lily, I could just pawn it off on Clary being awkward. But yeah, running in heels is not very easy. But the leather, like I said, it keeps up. It's very durable, and it does actually protect you from kind of the environments that we were in because we were in lots of real environments that were really dirty or kind of, bits and pieces on the floors and just not as sturdy as you'd want it. So having good coverage was necessary.
People will be familiar with, whenever a very popular series of books makes it to film, the purists and the hardcore, they want it to be exactly the same as the books. How similar is what the story you've told in this film? How similar is it to the original from Cassandra Clare? Because you've been a fan for a while.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you translate books into a movie, you want the movie to be a standalone piece of art in itself, because it would be quite boring to just have like a blueprint of the books. The essence of the characters and the undertones Cassandra wrote in the books are so genius, and of course you want to honor her story and her voice, and the fact that she signed off on the script and is such an advocate and strong supporter of the film speaks volumes, I think, because it's her baby, it's her project, and we completely have the essence of the characters and stay true to it, but there are certain liberties that you need to take when changing things into movies. And also, just in general, it can take 5 pages to describe a place, whereas in a film you never need to describe it because you're in it. So there are different ways around translating books into movies, but all the characters are there, and I really do feel, especially after all the feedback we've gotten from the main fans and just people in general that have seen it, they do truly feel the excitement and all the passion from the books. And then the people that don't know what the books are about want to go buy them afterwards. So that's always a good sign.
Is it true that Cassandra Clare, who wrote the books, is it true that she was on set?
Yes, she was on set quite a bit, actually.
So did that mean that could you go to her and say, could I say something different, or can I rearrange that sentence, or was it absolutely kind of nailed down as Holy Writ?
No, we did a lot of improv on this, actually. We were getting new pages pretty much every day, of which we sometimes disagreed, sometimes played around with. Harold was actually the one, our director, who really encouraged improv, and if we didn't feel comfortable saying something, he'd say, well, what do you want to say instead? And so we'd do scenes multiple different ways, and Cassandra was always there, but she never really... She really supported us from day one, and truly believed that we felt, specific ways about the character because we knew them so closely. And she never interjected, but she was always there for support and for questions. Like the end of the movie, the way it was written, caused a little bit of issue with Jamie and I. And at the end of the movie, before we shot it, we went to Cassandra and voiced her our opinions, and she agreed with us and literally overnight rewrote something. So it was very collaborative.
Which I think people would be surprised about, given the fact it's such a high-tech, focused film and high-energy film. You would not imagine there to be that kind of, any degree of improv at all, really, because the character and the plot are so complex.
Yeah, but the thing about Harold, what made him the best director for this project, I think, is that he wanted to make this CGI, fantasy-heavy world one that was all about character and emotion, and that allowed for the CGI to be really just the icing on top, because you could really strip away the story, take away the fantasy characters, take away all the special effects, and you're left with characters and emotion and storyline that you have to feel a part of and attached to, and that's what he did. So, the special effects could happen around the scenes that we created, and he wanted to take as much time as he could to really pay attention to that. So the improv just flowed.
Yeah, you've been attached to this project for
3 years now, yeah.
A very long time.
Crazy.
You must have had some times where you just thought, I mean, it's obviously a role you've been waiting to play, but there must have been times you thought, you know what, I don't think this is actually ever going to happen. Yeah,
I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, and because it pushed, I was able to do Mirror Mirror as well as The English Teacher and Stuck in Love. So I think I got to learn a lot and grow as an actor and as a human being before I took on Clary, and ultimately actually taking on Snow White, another literary character that is way more well known than Clary, allowed me to get over either the fears or the anxieties of playing a literary character that everyone feels they know. So it really prepared me better to play Clary. But yeah, this is the nature of the business. Things come up, things change, things move, things go away, and you just never know the genesis of the project. So with this one, I always had faith in it because I loved the character so much, and the core people that were attached to it were so passionate like I was, that I knew it would never go away. It just was a matter of time as to when it would actually come to be, and ultimately the actors that played the characters may not have been available if we had gone through, 2.5 years ago.
Can I just ask you, how it certainly appeared that almost all the Shadowhunters are English, and they're also very smart, posh English. Everyone speaks impeccably, don't you think?
Yeah, they do. It's funny because Robbie Sheehan obviously is Irish and he plays American. Jemima is actually from Paris and she spoke British. I'm technically British. I have the American accent. And then I think what it is just that in these kind of fantasy films, when you have a British accent, it just already kind of makes you otherworldly, and it's an easier way to decipher who's good who's evil, who is.
I feel quite good because often people with British accents are the bad characters, so that's
Well,
quite
not
good.
in this one.
No.
Well, no, I mean Valentine is the bad character, but it also shows, like you said, I mean if the good and bad are both British as well, it takes more than just the accent to figure it out. So it just sounds otherworldly,
Yeah.
and it makes it easier to decipher who's human and who's Shadowhunter.
Now, is it true that the sequel is actually supposed to start filming next month?
Yeah, in about 3.5 weeks, we're all going back to Toronto. We're all in pre-production right now, starting training.
So that's definitely happening. So, and is the training for the next film similar to the stuff? Are you wearing the same gear? I mean, is it the same kind of stuff that you're going to be expected to do for the second film?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, we've been doing this press tour now for what feels like months, and I just finished a film in Dublin, so it's not been the same process as last time, but we will be doing more action, I think in the second one, especially myself, because my potential was just shown in the first, but now I get to do more. So, yes, and there will definitely be leather. The Shadowhunter uniforms never change. They might, alter a little bit, but it's still going to be the same vibe, the same underground grunge kind of feel.
We appreciate you spending some time with us, Lily. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much for having me.